Hello everyone, and welcome to my Batman Begins spoiler review. So Batman Begins came out in 2006, and is directed by Christopher Nolan, stars Christian Bale, Tom Wilkinson, Katie Holmes, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, Liam Neeson, and the list just goes on and on. And this was the first in a brand new trilogy of Batman movies that really set the tone for where this character and all the DC Cinematic Universe movies after this trilogy have kind of gone. These movies are more set in the real world and everything, and that really helps the overall characterization and everything. It doesn't make them campy and jokey like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. And they don't go comic booky as the original Batman movie and the Batman Returns movie. Actually, the story structure for this movie, guys, is extremely similar to Man of Steel, a movie I'm going to be reviewing very soon. The movie goes between a lot of past and present flashback scenes, which are very well put together and everything, and I think that really helps the movie, and it gives us this sense of, okay, who's Bruce Wayne now, who was he before he became part of the League of Shadows and everything, which is an organization run by Ra's al Ghul, and how does that all fit in the larger Batman universe? Christian Bale plays this part fantastically. I think, actually, this is the second best Batman movie. While I like all three of the Batman movies in this Dark Knight trilogy, this one is the one that kind of cemented him as, dude, this guy can play Batman. He does a very good job. Yes, his voice sounds like he's going to get nodes and everything, and he's like, I'm Batman, terrible for the voice and everything, and it's a little overbaked. He does a very good job of playing both Bruce Wayne and Batman. You believe him as both characters. And the villains in this movie are very well realized too. Liam Neeson plays a very good bad guy and everything, along with as he's kind of the henchman to Ra's al Ghul. This really isn't your mother and father's Batman story. This is a completely new envisioning that Christopher Nolan and David Goyer wrote for this movie. This movie is extremely it's gritty. It's not as gritty as The Dark Knight or even The Dark Knight Rises, but it gives a good base layer to creating a world, in a sense. Like I said earlier, Christian Bale plays a really good Batman / Bruce Wayne. Michael Caine is fantastic as Alfred. Morgan Freeman is great as Lucius Fox. You've got Tom Wilkinson, who plays the crime boss Falcone really well. Even Katie Holmes, she's gotten some criticism for this part from other people that I've heard. I didn't find her to be all that bad or anything in watching this movie again. I've seen this movie a ton of times over the years, and I found that she did a very, very good job in this part. And in the next movie and everything, she's eventually recast by Maggie Gyllenhaal and everything. And I understand that recasting because the movie goes in a darker, the series goes in a darker tone. Overall, you really feel for the characters in this movie. You feel for Bruce Wayne in his lack of a parent figure, in a sense, over his life. You do feel for Katie Holmes, because in the end of the movie, she's really like, Bruce, I really liked you for the man that you were before you left, and now you're not that man anymore. That man is gone. She knows he's Batman and everything, and it works, in a sense. That's something I've really liked what they've done in recent superhero movies. They've kind of gotten rid of the whole secret identity thing, because it's kind of dumb, and it's like, wow, you really didn't know that that person is that superhero? Come on. I don't remember the guy's name who plays Dr. Crane, but the guy that plays the Scarecrow in this movie is fantastic. He's in the movie Red Eye and everything, and it does a very good job of a really creepy, sadistic character that isn't the Joker, but a very creepy and sadistic character that is warped, and he has ambitions and goals that he wants, but he's also working for the League of Shadows. And we find out that later in the movie. The structure of this movie is different. The beginning of the movie is us meeting Bruce Wayne as a young boy and going throughout his journey early on, finding out who he should be and what his goals are. We see the death of his parents and everything, and that really evokes something in him that he wants to have justice. He wants to be the living embodiment of justice. So he goes to the League of Shadows. Then the League of Shadows tells him, yeah, we're gonna attack Gotham, and Bruce is like, I can't do this. He's like, and they want him to kill a guy too. And he's like, I can't do that. This man should be, man should be put on trial and everything. And Liam Neeson says a line to somewhat of the effect that, what, do you want him to go to like a court full of bureaucrats that they'll let him off? This man's a murderer. He's a criminal and everything. And Bruce Wayne's like, no, I'm not going to kill this guy. And that's the one thing I really love about Batman. He doesn't kill people. We'll get into The Dark Knight later, and he does, Batman does kill people, but it's not I'm going to kill you because you're bad. I just have to kill you. No. And that's one of the things that's really good about the end of this movie. Basically, Bruce is like, I'm not going to kill Liam Neeson's character. I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to let fate decide, basically. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to kill you. I don't have to save you. That's basically what he tells me. Again, this movie has that tone and that pace and everything, where the first half is him becoming Batman, ultimately climax in the whole I'm Batman scene and everything, and then it goes into the second half where a microwave emitter has been stolen. A microwave emitter, basically, in this, is something that turns the water pressure around things into basically steam and vaporizes the water. Okay, makes sense. Microwaves do that. Okay, makes sense. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but I'll go with it. But what ends up happening is this microwave emitter that Wayne Enterprises has ends up going missing, and Bruce Wayne's like, why is it going missing? What's going on? Something bad's gonna happen, right? I think so. Yeah. And during this time, he's also fighting with he's fighting with the Scarecrow and stuff like that, trying to figure out what's going on in Gotham's underworld and everything. And it's funny, one of the little kids that he meets in this movie is actually Joffrey from Game of Thrones. I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, hey, that's Joffrey! But anyway, we go on, and eventually Liam Neeson's character survives and everything, comes back to Gotham, and mass chaos ensues. And that's pretty much it. And Batman eventually saves the day. In an interesting way. Let's get into Batman's tech in this movie. Something that is different than any of the other Batman movies. In the other Batman movies, the Batman costume was very stiff and nipply. Yeah, it was stiff, and it had, he had bat nipples. But in this movie, he can move, he's agile and everything. The fighting and the action in this movie, while not that great and is very chopped up, it just doesn't show that. It kind of shows that Christopher Nolan just doesn't really know how to choreograph that stuff very well. It's a very small, minor gripe and everything about the movie, but overall, I think it's something that was okay and well done. But again, back to the Batman costume and everything, it looks really good. He has these like spike gauntlet kind of things on his arm, and it's actually the same things that he had when he was part of League of Shadows. He just outfits them to his Batman costume and everything. And I think that's something that's pretty neat. And it kind of looks like it's like a super soldier kind of armor thing and everything. It's not that high tech. He's got some stuff that was there at Wayne Enterprises and everything that he uses. The Batmobile looks amazing. I like the fact that they turned it into a tank, and it was, this big, brooding thing and whatnot, and it just looks cool. The score of this movie, Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard, is fantastic. It's very iconic. It's an iconic score now. Everybody kind of knows the new Batman score and everything. And it's interesting to go after the last two Batman scores and everything, which I didn't think were half bad. The original one, done by Danny Elfman, is a really good score that dun 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 dun. It's good. It's it's the iconic Batman score. Then you have the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin scores, which is the dun 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 dun. Very it is a more comic booky, flashy kind of score. This one is more dun 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 dun. It's a lot more. The pace and it's like dun 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 dun, and it really hits you and everything in that chase sequence with the Batmobile and the cop cars when Batman is taking Rachel back to the Batcave after she's been poisoned. The characters, again, are fantastic. The script is very well put together, and I like the way we're introduced to a lot of characters. It's not an overcrowded movie, it's not too ambitious, and it does its job very well. Overall, guys, I'm going to give Batman Begins a 9 out of 10. It's a really well put together movie. Minor little things in there, just minor little things. It's a very basic plot and everything. And I put it at a 9 out of 10 because it's not the greatest movie ever, but it's a very well put together movie. And I think you all know what I'm going to say The Dark Knight is, so yeah. Again, guys, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.